Hi, my name is Lauren Oktovic, and today I'll be presenting about the evolution of graffiti from the comparisons of prehistoric cave art to modern day graffiti. So first off, there's defining graffiti. So according to Donato, the word graffiti comes from the Italian word graffare, which means to scratch onto a surface. So this comes into the more modern day definition of graffiti, which is in a way of leaving a mark or an image on a surface. Typically today the application is either spraying, painting, or marking, and it could be anywhere from on the surfaces of a public building to a bench, or basically anywhere you can imagine. So as you can see up here, I have a couple images. This one up here is a tag for this specific graffiti artist, Felipe Pantone. And as you can see, it's colorful, and you can't exactly make out all of the letters, but it's a very creative way of writing a name. The next one over here is by the One Zork, and it's just kind of like a creative freedom image mural type thing that's put on the side of the building. And this one down here is actually a form of gang art that was found in France for a specific gang. So next up, we're going to kind of look on each of the differences between prehistoric and modern day graffiti art. So we'll start with prehistoric graffiti art. The media typically found on is in caves. It's typically found deep in the backs of caves, and this is because it's wanting to more so protect from all of the environment outside, as well as keep it hidden from other people who may be coming through. The media is typically used. According to web exhibits, it's found that this paint style is used by making and mixing with animal fat and spit with different types of natural minerals and stuff to find the colors. As you can see up in the corner over here, these are just a couple different natural colors, some of your whites, your grays, your browns, and reds. You can all find in different dirts and types of things like that. So it's usually earth minerals, and so these pigments are easy to stick to cave walls because as the spit and animal fat dry with this, it sticks into the porous structure of the cave wall, which allows it to stick there. Often, it's very hard to find the meanings of these arts, but we have done our best to kind of figure out what each of them means. So I have a few examples here of what some prehistoric cave art may look like. This one right here we can see in the corner. You can see images right here of people with what look to be bows hunting these animals over here. And this is something typical of cave art because it portrays the hunting and feeding throughout history that they would use, and it could portray a good hunt, it could portray something that they do on a daily basis. This one over here has a couple different meanings to it. One of the meanings was found as ancient aliens, if that's how it was portrayed to be. But the other meaning could be that the big one right here was a sort of leader for the rest of the smaller people over here. And the third one over here, we see a bunch of hands, and slightly, very faint, you can see leaves and vines attached to it, and this is symbolized as like a tree of life. The hands often mean like you can connect hands, and there's plenty of different meanings to it. And as you can see here, the vines are connecting hands to each other, which could have even been certain people's handprints connecting family members to one another as like a family tree type idea. So next we're going to define modern graffiti. So all of you have probably been driving through a city and seen some sort of tag or picture depicted on a building, whether it's driving through a city, seeing it in an alley, or on the side of a building, or on a park bench. So modern day graffiti is often used with spray paint, which can be very toxic, unlike the prehistoric, which was very natural ingredients. So spray paint is used often, so are magic markers and other things like that that are more permanent kind of media. Some of the meanings, they're used originally as gang tags. So it started that a gang member would tag their name on the side of a building, and wherever that meant that was their area where their gang was, and no other gang was supposed to be there. Another meaning, you can find political meaning in them, such as just like you can see in political cartoons. That's the same as you can find with graffiti. Another thing would just be artistic freedom, finding murals and things like that just anywhere on the sides of buildings. This does come into a legality issue nowadays because it's often found on public buildings and public surfaces, which can see as public destruction of property, so this is often illegal when seen like this. So here's a couple examples. This is a modern artist, Banksy. This right here is a very political cartoon. As you can see, it's a man sitting on the ground that says, "Keep your coins, I want change." So this, he tried to find the meaning that although he's a poor man and he does need money, he would rather have change in government or things like that to provide more for poor people rather than somebody giving him money. And he's asking for more than just help financially. This one right here is by Rich Simmons. It's called Chasing Butterflies. This was done in 2013. As you can see, right in each of these colorful butterflies, there are skulls. So you can see there's some hidden meaning within some graffiti, just like this. So you see person with the butterfly net, so chasing the butterflies, but also there's skulls inside, which kind of simulates chasing death in a way. This is also an example of pop art, which is popular culture. It's a new modern type of art that's kind of revolting against old types of art, and that in a way is also colorful and kind of has multiple meanings to it. The third one over here is by an artist known as Devote. This is found in San Francisco, California. Up in the top part by the roof, you can see that it's actually the gang tag. You can see his name spelled out up there. And down below you see almost a mural of a face type structure. This is an example of more of a artistic freedom type art, as well as the gang tag above it here, or even graffiti artists have their own type of tags that they use. So are they similar? In a way they can be similar, because they say that cave art is actually an ancient form of graffiti, so it can be brought down. But you can see that graffiti art is more colorful, vibrant colors, because we have our spray paints and our markers that we can use with that. We often use gang tags and can be seen as vandalism, as well as outside walls and public property are used, which is illegal. Cave art is often seen with dull and natural colors made with natural pigments that are non-toxic, as well as they tell stories and histories of what happened throughout time to the certain group of people that made them. And also they're hidden deep in caves rather than on the outsides of buildings. So you can see there's some differences between them. So they don't directly stem from each other, but there are similarities, which we can see here. Both of them have images that are applied to walls, so in a sense they're both the same thing because they're images displayed outside for understanding and stories and different meanings applied to them. They're both created by humans, so they're human images who created paints to put them out there for other meanings. Each image holds meaning, which often can be hard to understand unless actually told by the real artist, and there's different meanings for each one that you can even see. But the meanings are kind of unclear and kind of unknown at times and hard to understand. So these are my references for this. Thank you.